So today I'm going to show you how to repair a hairline crack or a settlement crack with some amazing internal filler. Cover your floors. It's only very minor, it's not too messy this, so we've just put very thin sheets down here. It is important to be clean and tidy, of course. Okay. So we've got a very small settlement crack here, which is quite common. Sometimes paint on its own, if you touch it up with some paint, that's enough to fill it. Or a little Stanley knife, a new blade, if you just follow the crack with the blade, carefully, you don't need to go super deep, but what you're doing, you can maybe go over it 2 or 3 times. You just want to get a couple of mil inside. You're creating a small channel for the new filler to sit in, because what you don't want to do is fill it and create a big bulge. I'll do one more. And it's really quite simple. The filler I've got, you don't need to prime, you don't need to glue it or prepare, it just sticks straight over, and you can even repaint it after 12 hours. And then once you've got a little bit more in, what I like to do is turn the angle of the blade 90 degrees. So you've got a very small triangular shape there, and you can see I've got a nice little channel there. That's now got a nice little channel for the new filler, and we'll do that to all the, there's actually not that many cracks, but we'll do that to all the cracks. So we're using Tapret's interior filler. I also like their filler for very minor, small outdoor repairs as well, the external version. And as you can see, no primer needed or sealer before application, so it's a very user-friendly one. And I also love, not that it's relevant in this case, but there is no depth limit, so it doesn't sag or drop out of deep holes. So this is a really useful interior filler. One bit of a warning time, it sets very rapidly, so make sure you are prepared, ready to use, and only really for very small spots. Because we've only got very small hairline crack repairs, you only need a very small mixing pot. That's right, plasterer's breakfast, with a tiny bit of water. It goes a long way, this water. Okay, it comes in a cardboard box, but it's a nice plastic bag inside. Just make a little small hole. Okay, my trusty little, excuse the state of the van, this is such a teeny weeny amount. You can stir it with a spoon or something. I've chosen to use a lovely insulation fixing because I happen to have one spare. I'll add a little exit tap. More than that. Might be surprised about how far the water goes, so don't add too much water in one go. Alright, that's just looking a bit, you want it in a nice stiff paste. This is getting there. I might go just a tiny bit stiffer than this. It's such a small repair. It's looking quite good though. Got nice peaks. In fact, actually, I might leave that. That looks pretty good, I think. Happy with that, Chris? I'm drinking a little bit more.
That looks alright.
Yeah, that's looking quite good.
Quick.
Now, a flexible trowel or a flexible spatula works best. Do we have a flexible trowel or spatula? In my van of wonders. This is like Aladdin's cave. As it's being ripped to shreds by the genie. We've got that super flexible trowel there. And if you've got a smaller one, use a smaller one. This will work nicely. I'll scrape a little bit of filler here. Again, a smaller spatula will work, but this is what I have to hand. What I'm going to do, I'll do one pass on all of them. You see how far it goes, you really don't need much at all. Okay, and now, this is so quick, I will add another basically repeat the process. So it's tightened in just a little, it tightens in so quick. There we go. Last one. There we are. You see that? Now, in about 20-30 minutes, we'll be able to just give it a very light sand, just to make sure there's no rough bits around the edges. And pretty much there. For the sanding, I like an orbital sander. This is my sander of choice, a Milwaukee. I'm quite a big fan. I've got lots of batteries, lots of Milwaukee tools, so it's nice and easy. And 240 grain will work beautifully. So they have dried nicely. Just double check with your hands, make sure they're completely dry, because if there is some moisture in there, they will tear instead of sand. So we want them nice and dry. And I've gone slightly proud there that you can see just a few mil, but with a 240 grain orbital sander, this really is effortless. It sands down beautifully. Don't overdo it, but you do want to take it back. So I'd recommend up and down motion like there. And then you're just taking off the lip, making sure it's nice and smooth. I'll go one end to the other, then I'll check it with my hand, just make sure it feels nice and smooth. If I can't feel any indents, and then you're good to move on. So this is 240 grade. It's a new one. They do wear out, and that is ideal for this. If it's really stubborn, you can try 120, but this is This really is effortless. You can see I'm barely applying any pressure. The orbital sander is doing all the work for you. It really does make things very easy. One thing I will say, it can be a bit dusty. These are only small areas, so they're not crazy amount of dust, but perhaps an orbital sander with a vacuum attachment would be better. Or you can attach a vacuum to this one, open your windows. So it's not crazy, it's not insanely dusty, but it will chuck out a little bit of dust. But that's as easy as that. Excellent. Once that's painted, you will never know, except for the dust. Quick tidy up, and ready for a quick touch up with the paint. Good as new. And that is how you repair a hairline crack.